Still testing the broadcast. Waiting for the broadcast to be published. And I am live. Good day. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out into the field and shows them a Sasquatch. That's kind of a shortened down version of my usual speech. So we're going to start this show today with just such an incredible, fun thing. I'm so excited about this. I actually named this show differently today. It's called How a Sasquatch Grabs You. Because for those of you who have heard the Ina story, there's actually, so including myself, I know there's myself and 3 other people, so 4 people in total, hello Amanda, that have been picked up by a Sasquatch. And I brought my little Sasquatch buddy here today to show you how they grab you. And I was a little concerned about going public with this. I just did a podcast where I started talking about it, started thinking about it, and I realized I'm just gonna let it go. I like to keep things private. I haven't talked about Jake's scarring because when someone sees Jake, if they really have, then I'll know the scars. 3 women saw Jake, in that story that I talked about. Excuse me, I'm coughing quite a bit. Where a lady pulled over, she peed, he picked up the pee, smelled. They had a good look at him, and they identified. I saw their story was definitively authentic because there's no way they could know what Jake looks like. There's just no way. Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, so many people. You guys start asking awesome questions because before we do these awesome questions, I'm gonna start with a demonstration. So I got my little Sasquatch buddy here. And again, so going back, like Sasquatch tracks, they're in line. The danger of telling people these things, there's a mid-tarsal joint, is that the hoaxers can fake you. So in the past, I'd look at a Sasquatch trackway, and if I saw they were staggered, I'd know this guy's just pulling my leg. He's full of BS. But I think it's pretty much known now that Sasquatch tracks are straight in line. And today, I'm going to tell you how a Sasquatch picks you up. I know this because I've been picked up like this. And Ina was picked up like this, and 2 other people that are not going to go public and don't want me to talk about their stories have been picked up by Sasquatch, and I'm going to try to show you how they do that today. So the first thing that I know is when I was picked up by a Sasquatch, you feel a twist and lift. It's pretty scary. So if you just saw what I did there, so what the Sasquatch will do is he walked up behind me and he grabbed hold of Ina, and he grabs with his hand like this. So it's hard to show this in the camera, but he has to grab you like this. And so this is a person, see how those are my hips? So he grabs you and he twists like that. Now I'm going to back off a little bit so you can see this in the camera. This is what I remember feeling. So this is the head, here's the feet, this is the little Sasquatch doll. This is how they carry you. Is what they do is they'll hold you like this, and he puts you on his hip. I'm going to show you this, bend down a little bit. So he puts you on his hip like this, and then he runs. See how easy that is for me to do that? And I remember feeling like the fingers here, the thumb over on this side grabbing me. So the Sasquatch will walk up behind you, again, behind you like this, grabs you like that, puts his hand like this, twists, lifts, and puts you against his hip, and then he runs. And so your head is facing down at the ground, away from him. Your legs are up in front. Your ass is in the air. And he holds you like nothing. The big dominant male, I know it was the big dominant male of the group. I mean, that did it to me. He's 9'6", 9'8", 1,000 pounds. I'm just going to be honest. I'm always so conservative in my numbers. You guys are seeing that. Fans of mine right now are seeing that. Because we've just discovered recently through new analysis that Sasquatch in video 3, he was almost 10 feet tall. He was enormous. So, I was always saying 7'4" and stuff, and I knew I was being conservative. I just don't want to. I think it would damage credibility if we went out there and we were over, like somebody, 12 feet tall. No, I'm trying to it's hard enough for primatologists and scientists to understand that Sasquatch are 900 pounds. I'm trying to ease them into it. Does that make sense? So you go around saying they're 10 feet tall, or even, what if I exaggerated up? What if I said they were 12 feet tall and 1,500 pounds? Which some people say. And there are some legit researchers that have evidence about that a little bit, and I'm still very sketchy. I don't want to do that. Friends of mine, amazing colleagues that I really trust, are telling me there's 15-foot tall Sasquatch, and I just go, no, no! They don't believe that they're 9 feet tall. So the big dominant male of the wild bunch that I study in radium, that the expeditioners go out and study, I got him down to 9'6", 9'8", and he's well over 900 pounds, guys. He's pushing 1,000 pounds. He's a beast. He's super thick. He's super muscly. He's very heavy. And his hands are big enough where he could take someone like, so you imagine now you're talking about, a just under 10 foot tall, 1,000 pound, just under 1,000 pound primate, muscle and power. He picks me up weighing 230 pounds with my gear and my stuff on, more like 250, picks me up like a little rag doll, just like this, jams me against his hip, and then just runs. So that's what happened to me. I was picked up that day where I'm flipping out and get here, I'm screaming to get the Sasquatch away from me. I filmed that. That's when I had the flare. It's on Survivor Man. I think it's in my documentary too. I thoroughly dislike hearing that, because I remember I've never lost my stuff like that. I've never flipped out like that. I was really, I hadn't slept in days. I'd been out there for, I don't know, what was that, 7-8 days. I was sleeping about 2 hours a day, physically exhausted from hiking every day, mentally exhausted from dealing with the Sasquatch, and you get cranky. I wasn't eating for 3 days, starving to death, hiking, the damage you do to your body. So you really, I don't know and you're out alone in the wilderness. That alone will mess with your mind. It's really hard to do, completely alone all that time. So the state of mind that I'm in, I don't even make any apologies for it. I think I did really well. I was very pleased with the way I tried to hold it together. But the Sasquatch were like charging at me and growling at me and shaking trees at me, building the structures right there. It was scaring the hell out of me. I was terrified. And what scared me the most was they always pushed me out. I'd have been happy to go further out. The problem was I was at base camp. I was only a kilometer, 3/4 of a mile away from the darn road where they were going to come pick me up the next day. So, and it's a dirt little, it's not like some busy, it's a dirt road. There might be a vehicle that drives up and down that road once a week. It's that dead. Like you drive up that road, if you're going fast, you can go 20 kilometers an hour. It's just bumpy. It's horrible. It's an abandoned logging road that hasn't been used in 20 years at least, maybe 30. So it's really, really abandoned. The point is, you're way out in the middle of nowhere. And if they'd have been pushing me out, I'd have gladly walked further close to the road. I would have hit the road and walked down the road. They could have pushed me all the way back to the main road. They weren't doing that. They were trying to push me back in. That's what was confusing. Why do you want me to go back? You always push me out. Now you want me in. I feel like Al Capone or whatever his name is. Yeah, you're trying to get me out. I want in. So that was scary, because I don't want to go back in. Why would you want me to go back in? Back into your home. You've been trying to push, and they've been pushing me out. There's that scene where the boulder comes running down. They're telling me not to go that way, go another way, but they want me out. Leave. So I'm leaving. I've left. And even what was weird is they kept following me so closely, like they were right on me. So there's a whole lot more to that, tons more to that. But anyway, I think that's pretty exciting that I really, I've broken it down. The 4 people that have authentically been picked up by a Sasquatch, all 4 of us, I'm one of them. You really feel that you're standing, you go, ah! Right? It's what specifically. So imagine this guy standing. I'm going to back up a little bit. So imagine he's standing there, and even the Sasquatch, look what I have to do. Watch my arm. I have to do that to grab you, and then, whoa! And then this, now imagine that's right up against the Sasquatch's hip. That's what I felt was his hip. And when he was, so I'm like this, and just, moving, like I could feel, I'll tell you, the feeling of it, boom, boom, like he's running. It's a Sasquatch, and you're on his hip. Like, you feel, even, I think the scariest thing, the first 3 or 4 steps, I just felt like it was, whoa, like he was going so fast. It's nothing to him, being 1,000-pound beast like they are. My weight was nothing to him. So the first thing I felt was that, oh my God, we're going so fast. You could hear the crashing, the booming on the ground. But then the second thing I felt was that, as he's going through the trees. He's going through tree to tree because he can't go straight. He's going in the wilderness here. He's going straight, and I could feel the G-force just going like just back and forth like that. And I was fighting it. I was flexing, like my whole body just went stiff. I was right, and you're being held like nothing. I played football, and I used to wrestle and do martial arts with guys that were huge, 330-pound steroid monsters, beasts. I trained for football in the CFL with my guy I trained with was 360 pounds. He was a monster, 6'7", and nobody ever has manhandled me like that. Even big guys, I've always been strong. Big guys can't manhandle me. And to be picked up and manhandled like a little nothing, just like this, was, if that doesn't get you some respect for the Sasquatch, I mean, the power, like his hand held me there, and it was just not, I could feel him, sometimes he would squeeze a little harder, and then he'd release a little bit, like he could have just crushed my hips. If you know about gorilla primate strength, and I've seen in the biology, clearly Sasquatch are twice as strong as a gorilla. Come on. Like the hand strength, I mean, these guys climb trees. Their hands are, 10 times stronger than a man's. It could easily have just crushed my hips. But he found that equilibrium where it was just holding on to me and not terribly, terribly hurting me. So anyways, I talked about it a little bit in the podcast today, and he's going to do part 2, and I'll talk about it some more. I'm still just getting over my cold. I am feeling better. I've been taking really good care of myself this week and not exercising and just resting and really trying to get better because my expeditions are coming up. I'm going out now. So I don't know what's going to happen with the live shows. I love doing these live shows, but I'm going to have to start kiboshing them. What is exciting is I didn't do Sasquatch Sunday. My life got insane this weekend, and I'm really sorry that didn't happen. But what I'm going to start doing is so Throwback Thursdays will be over in 2 weeks, and then I'm just going to do probably Sundays. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a video. It's just me out in the bush with expeditioners. I'm out in the bush. Let's go look at tree breaks. Let's go look at tracks. Let's get out there and, hike and talk. And I find when I'm out in the wilderness, and I'm talking about the berries and the plants and the animals and the birds, and it's just, there's so much that I just love nature, and I am a wilderness expert. Like there's no argument at this point, guys. I've taken out Survivor Man, wildlife biologist John Butternagel was immensely impressed with my skill set, with my tracking set. So it's not time to be humble about that anymore because people's lives are in my hands. I've taken out TV shows, not just way beyond Survivor Man, different networks, tons of shows, hundreds of people that I've taken out now, and they all come back safe because I just have no tolerance for BS. We follow all the rules, and it's really, most of what I know is just, it's native rules. The First Nations people, Native Americans, it's their teachings that really keep us safe and amazing. And I've grown to have my own rules and my own things that I do. So it's a new world out there, and so it's going to be fun. The shows are going to be really cool. Amanda's been asking me about that. So I found an old video of me hiking in the snow down a mountain where I almost fell off the mountain, and I wanted to put that up. I still might. So, hey, Michigan Royal Creations. Everybody's saying hi. Hi, everybody. Lots of stuff. Great night for discovery and learning. Yeah, it kind of is, I guess. I don't know. Isn't it always maybe it's greater than that. There's good energy in the air. Ben Erbrock, thank you. He says, I'm amazing. Thank you. Show so many friends. Your videos changed my mind. That's awesome. I'm so glad. That's what the movie's about, right? It's discovering Bigfoot and all the stuff I did with Survivor Man. It's to move the discovery process forward. So if that's happening, that's all that matters to me. That makes me so happy. There's a lot of work to do all that, put it all together. Hi, Todd. Great demo on how Sasquatch grabs you. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? That's just so crazy. You're ghillie girls. 4SQ. Ghillie girls? Like ghillie suit girls? Huh. That's cool. I love ghillie suits. I used to make ghillie suits from scratch with professionally trained snipers. I am not a professionally trained sniper. I train with snipers when it comes to camouflage and survival, evasion, escape techniques. We all practice that together. But when it comes to taking that shot, I don't do that. I don't take the shot. I don't shoot things from a distance. I know I have a rifle, and I'm gonna hunt elk one day because they're just so there. I need to go do that. But I'll get within 300 yards and hit an elk bang on. I'm not doing like 900 yard shots and crazy things like these incredible snipers do. And I don't want to shoot people. I won't ever do that. But in talking about a ghillie suit, what's really cool. Let's see if I can remember this. So it's what we learn with stealth and ghillie suit and sniper training is what catches your eye to look at something. So it's motion, its shape, and its color. So with a ghillie suit, you want to get that human shape away. That's why you have the headpiece on. You want to look squared. You just don't want to look like a person shape because that'll catch your eye. That's one thing. Then obviously movement. So if you have an ability to move very slow or stop, that movement is not going to slow movement, especially from a distance away. When I'm close, movement is easier than when I'm far away. So that same movement is harder to see. If I'm 100 yards off, you're not going to see that kind of movement. So that's how you camo for movement, and then obviously color, right? So the ghillie suit has a I have it right here. So my ghillie suit is like you'll actually see. So I've rolled in branches. See, there's actually branches and twigs on it. So it's very, very natural. I used to make these things from scratch. Oh my God, it was so much work. You make such a mess. You have these big pots you're boiling with. We have multiple colors. So you'd have the black and the yellowish and then the green. And we'd make them from burlap. We'd put them on nets. This is like fish net. But I bought this. You just buy this now. It was so long and so much work to make a ghillie suit. And now you can just buy this. And this is an amazing. This is a jacket. So where's the pants? Which takes me a minute to figure that out. So these are the pants, definitely pants. So there you can see they're pants, right? So they work really, really well. They're comfortable, they're light. They're not really, they'll keep you a little bit warm. If it's not raining, there's sponges. If it's raining, they absorb water. And then when you go through trees when it's wet, the branches that you hit have water, and that just sucks it up like a sponge. So the thing turns into like a 50-pound mess. So there's a lot of stuff, and they're not waterproof. They're always material. We were making them from burlap strips before, which was fun to do a couple times, but oh my God. So Dre Wolf asked, when's my expedition with Ina? You know what that crazy Ina has done? The expedition's next year. She wants to go out the same days that she had her initial experience. Like this girl, and this is something I haven't talked about, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Ina was actually seeing a psychiatrist for her severe trauma from that experience. She went and saw a psychiatrist. She was seeing a psychiatrist. So, and sit here and go, oh, you know what? Yeah, she didn't even think Sasquatch were real. She was nearly abducted by one. Her boyfriend was slammed by one. He picked her up and started walking with her, not far, because the big male came out and told Kubota to put her down. But she wants to go back there, same time of year, same place. Oh my God. She had a lot of, what happened too is, so she's watched my movie, she watched the Survivor Mans, she's been watching my videos, she might be watching this today. Well, she watches the show after, because she lives in Ireland. So it's really late at night, so she watches the show the day after. But I talked to her dad, I talked to her a lot. I talked to her boyfriend who was there. And just after, and really, when you watch, my point with this is when you watch my shows, that's who I am. I don't play a character. This is me. I'm passionate. I'm this guy. Whatever, however you see me, that's really who I am. I'm not an actor, and all the BS that you'll hear. Some twit came on and said that I'm kind of from Edmonton. That's where I spent my younger years, and I went to the University of Alberta in Edmonton. This twit comes on today and says that when I go to the local watering hole and get drunk, I tell people about all my fraudulent fake. Like, what the hell is this? People can say the stupidest stuff. I don't go to pubs. I've never been to pubs in my whole life. I don't drink. And then telling people that it's all a hoax. And his point is my true character came out when I had a few beers. I don't drink beer. I can't stand beer. I would drink I'd choke down an ounce. It tastes like fermented carbonated barley and hops, which it is, and I can't stand that taste. So this guy's statement is such BS. But I don't put on an act. I am who I am. I don't drink. I don't smoke. This is really who I am. And so she learned, and she has a sense to trust me because of my movies and my shows and the stuff that I've done, right? So, and that's very authentic. I know expeditioners will say the same thing. When you come out, this is what you're gonna get. That's it. This is me. This is how I react. And so she's just got to the point where she's learned to trust me. She's watched my movie like 3 times, and she's watched all the Survivor Man Bigfoots. She liked them a lot. She's watched them many times. So she has a good feel for the kind of person that I am. And she's gonna go backcountry, sleep in the bush. Like it's just me and her. That's it. Nobody else. Just her and I, right back to the actual spot. So she wants to do it really badly. She thinks it's going to be good therapy. She's talked to her. She's not seeing the psychiatrist anymore. She's dealt with it really well. But she loves nature. She loves the wilderness. She wants to do this stuff. And I want to go back and see the exact spot where Kubota came out, where he grabbed her, where the big male was. There might be still some signs of stuff. Her boyfriend remembers a lot of trees getting smashed, sounds and breakage and stuff. So it's a long time ago, though. That is 6 years ago, 7 years. So I don't really expect to find any tracks. So, and I don't think we're gonna bump into Kubota. I don't think anything's, I'm just being honest. We're not gonna go from the same direction that they went. She went from Banff National Park up to my area. I'm going from Radium north south. She went I'm going south to north. She went north to south. So, and to be truthful too, it's shorter my way, because she was, let's say, if her trip was 6 days, she was 4 days in, only had 2 days to go. So, and I think that's pretty correct. So it's going to take me about 2 days to get her in there, 2 days to get her out. We'll spend only 1 night there, maybe 2 nights. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And if she wants to quit, if she wants to tap, I'm okay with that. She's very traumatized. It's been, what she went through is really hard. I have a sense, though, that she's going to do it. She wants to do it. I tried to talk her out of it. I try to talk everybody out of it. I try to talk all my expeditioners out of it. I'm like, guys, for real, bears, mountain lions, avalanches, scary, crazy nature, nighttime, alone, so many things, right? So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So, good evening, says Stefan, my professor. Is there a professor on here? I'm not a professor. Wow, if I'm flattered, thank you. If you're calling me. Pacific Northwest Native says 15-inch Sasquatch, or maybe 15-foot Sasquatch, likes to eat people. Woo-hoo-hoo! And I appreciate your 15-foot Sasquatch. I don't think there's a 15-foot Sasquatch out there, but I've been wrong before. And again, I'll tell you, one of the best researchers I've ever met, the number one researcher, the guy who got hair for the Melba Ketchum. It's the Adrian Erickson project that paid Melba Ketchum to do it. She was a paid employee, and the hair sample came from this guy. This guy's legit. He's real. And he says there's 15-foot Sasquatch, and I don't know. But from his perspective too, there's 3 or 4 things he showed me that I was like, that's not Sasquatch. And in the end, he was right, and I was wrong. So literally, there's 3 things that he said Sasquatch, they're making these triangles, these little structures. I was like, there's no way Sasquatch are doing that. He was right. 3 times he taught me Sasquatch were doing things I said they wouldn't do. And now the fourth thing is, he says, well, there's 15-foot tall Sasquatch. And I go, nope. So probably me, I'm more of the dumbass, but I don't even, 15-foot Sasquatch, what's that? What's the tree? What's the foot? The foot's going to be like 24 inches? Come on. That's King Kong. Holy cow. Todd's recovering from a cold. That's correct. And I have lung damage from, it's funny, because they do lung capacity on me, and it's low, and there's lots of tissue damage, and yet I can hike. I don't know what it feels like to get out of breath. Like, I can just hike like a beast. I feel like my lungs are amazing, but the doctors tell me they've been badly damaged, so maybe I get worse colds. I have a harder time with colds and dealing with colds because I have lung damage from, you don't hike below -20, guys. It wrecks your lungs. I didn't know that. found out when a native girl was running after being attacked by people. And she ran out in the bush, and then she started coughing blood, and then she died from the lungs from the freezing cold and breathing heavily in the freezing cold. And I was part of that, finding her and stuff and going to help her. But she died, and I remember going, why does she bleed from the lungs? And they're like, because you can't go out in -40 and run and jog. And I go, I do it all the time. And they go, you can't, don't do that, dumbass. And then I talked to some medical experts, and they're like, yeah, you don't do that. Well, even if you do, you can have a breathing apparatus that goes into your jacket, so you're breathing not -40 air. So I just didn't feel like I had any trouble. And even worse, I would go up hiking up mountains at altitude where the air is thinner and more painful to breathe for people. So yeah. Anyway, Dire Wolf, I too would like to know if Sasquatch might use stone tools like primitive man. A good question. Yeah, I found a spear that I think Sasquatch used to catch the Kootenai salmon. Kootenai salmon are small. They're landlocked. They don't get to the ocean. They call it landlocked. It's not right. They're locked out of the ocean. The Kootenai salmon in Kootenai Park, where the Kootenai Sasquatch are. That's my wild bunch. One of the troops in Kootenai. There's at least 3 troops in the Kootenai area, and I do the I guess it would be the eastern Kootenai Sasquatch. So there's at least 3 troops out there that I know of. So yeah, and they must use it. They must be sharpening that with a stone, I would think. It didn't look like it was broken. Yeah, it was sharpened. Like you could see that it was, you know how if you break something to make it sharp, there was actually like but it was only one way. The angle on that stick, how could I demonstrate that? It was just like, anyway, it was a total triangle. Imagine you can make something like here, you can make it like this, where it's pointed, where you sharpen it on both sides. It was, so imagine one side's flat and this side's sharpened. That's how the stick was that I'm firmly convinced the Sasquatch were using to get salmon. So one side was flat, like you could see bark on this side, and this side was sharpened. It must be some kind of stone. I know they throw stones. I believe they pick up stones and they'll smash a deer or an elk over the head with it. I saw that in Montana, where it was basically we tracked it was in the snow. A Sasquatch was following an elk in the snow. A Sasquatch ran down an elk or walked down an elk in the snow. Out endurance him, which doesn't make any sense. How could these giant primates be better endurance than an elk? The biology doesn't make any sense, but these Sasquatch are just literally super beings. They're just incredibly amazing super beings. And when we found the elk, it looked like, so in the wintertime, I don't know, I assume they'd like break their necks. I've seen evidence of them breaking necks within the spine after they've eaten it. But this day, it looked like there were brains and skull. So I just assumed that the Sasquatch had a rock in his hand and just smashed it over the elk's head. We didn't find the rock, but just deductive reasoning made me think that he would use that. He used a rock. I don't think he could fist. Maybe he just uses fish, but I just don't think that would be, because elk heads, you know, their heads like brain. So you can't get to the head from the lower part. So if there's brain material, he'd have to smash the frontal area of the head, and that's where the horns are. And this was a male elk, so you'd have to have just. I can imagine them definitely using a rock for that, but never any other signs. They don't like tools. Even that spear, they didn't take it with them. They just left it there, you know? So, yeah, good question, though. Fernando, Todd. Oh, I speaking a different language. Sorry, dude. Sorry, Fernando. I don't do Spanish at all. Any word on Area X? What's Area X? Huh. Hey, Laura. Did you suffer any injury from that? From the Sasquatch picking me up? No, I felt fine after. I was completely unharmed. Completely unharmed. So the only damage that was happening was me twisting and contorting my body, trying to get out of it, like trying to reach up and grab the arm or touch his body. You can't, though. And what really gets you, well, people say you can't. No, you can't, because the G forces are like, you ended up putting my arms by my side and just contorting myself, trying to get out of it. The Sasquatch, he let go of me because I was trying to break my own neck. I was ready to kill myself. I mean, if you hear that video of me yelling at them, I mean, I was not a happy camper. I was as horrifically distressed as a human being could be. I was, as far as I was concerned, a grizzly bear had latched onto me and was eating me alive. So you're going to get pretty upset. That's how upset I was. That's the level of hostile, angry, upset I was. So he just dropped me. He just kind of let me go and backed away. And I remember looking at him. I turned and I looked at him, and it's really dark, but I could see him okay. And I remember him just kind of like, what is the matter with you? You know, you're stupid. Like, I wasn't hurting you. And he had a purpose. And it's a long story, the whole, what was happening, what happened over the next few days. He was just trying to help. He was just trying to give me what I wanted. And that's the look I got. Like, there was really, I think that was one of the most expressive looks I've ever seen on a Sasquatch. He wasn't angry at me. He dropped me and he was just like, this is the look he had. Like, huh? You know, I saw that, like, and just kind of walked away, and even his gait after was just like, oh man, I just can't get it through to you. You people are so ignorant. I'm just trying to help. And plus I could feel stuff too. There was a lot of energy in just, not just his body language, and I was probably making horrible noises. You know, I was screaming, let me go. I don't remember. My voice actually went hoarse. Like, I was like, ugh! Like I was screaming so much, my voice went hoarse. I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but yeah, it was a crazy situation, really, really crazy. So, you know, and but the Sasquatch are so amazing. They're just such an awesome, awesome species. And again, I couldn't even write this stuff. Like the stuff they do. Oh my goodness, amazing. I get Amanda saying, Fernando, thank you for your support. Well, thank you for your support, Samantha. If Amanda knows why, thank you for whatever you did. I really appreciate it. Dire Wolf says, thanks for that answer. Oh, somebody had an answer. Andy, what am I missing here? Andy says, we know they have good aim with, oh my God. Oh my God, Andy. Their aim with rocks is not believable. I don't even like talking about it because you can't. A rock, like I learned about bullets from snipers. Bullets are rifled and specially designed, and they have all these things. They put tips on them, so they go accurately. A rock, some weird shaped rock, you can't throw that accurately. When a Sasquatch throws a rock, you hear this weird a sound that doesn't make any sense in your head because rocks don't go that fast. They don't. It's not a natural thing to hear. So you're hearing because the wind or the air around it. I mean, the thing's going, I don't know, 100 miles an hour. It's a weird sound, but so they can't be accurate like they are, but they are. The accuracy, I'll literally be walking along and a rock will just whip past my head. It happened to John Bitternagel. It just whips past your head. It misses you by, 6 inches. And if you understand, if somebody throws something, they're at least minimum 100 yards away. Minimum. If you throw something, that's a football field away. You throw it 100 yards away and we're walking, how do you know where we're going to be in, it's going to take 3 seconds to get there. And that's how, so they would just, like a football player knows where his receiver is going to be, they would throw the rock to just miss you. I mean, if any of those rocks, I've had rocks thrown at me over a dozen times. And usually it just goes whipping past my head. And they always just miss. And their accuracy just doesn't make sense. So I would almost, a little part of me wants to think they're almost like Darth Vader, where they can throw the rock and then use the force to manipulate the darn thing that just missed me. Honestly, I hate to sound that ridiculous, but it doesn't make sense how they can throw rocks that accurately. Those things can't, like, just as an example, I have a 44 Magnum. It's a Smith & Wesson Stealth Hunter 44 Magnum. It's one of the most accurately designed, perfect 44 Magnum guns of all time. It has an 8-inch barrel on it. If you put that thing in a vise with a laser, you can shoot plus or minus 6 inches at 50 yards. That's a gun designed with a bullet. It still misses. It's plus or minus 6 inches at 50 yards. At 100 yards, it's plus or minus 12 inches. They don't shoot accurately, people. If you don't know about guns, like that stuff they do in the Wild Wild West where a guy pulls out a gun and bang! That's crap. With lasers and scopes and a vice grip to hold the gun, you can't shoot that accurately at 100 yards. It's plus or minus at least 8 inches. That's a lot. That means if you have a spot, your laser's right on that exact spot, and you take a gun on in it with a machine and a computer and it aims it perfectly, it's still going to be within an 8-inch circle. It can't be more accurate than that at 100 yards. The Sasquatch are doing that with rocks. If you had a gun, a barrel, and you put a rock in there, and you shot it with a machine and you designed it, it was all perfect, it would be plus or minus a foot, 2 feet at 50 yards. How are they doing that? It doesn't make any sense. So something's going to break with the math because it's not making any sense to me. So just because I have that experience with guns, I have that knowledge with what Sasquatch throw rocks, and oh my God, it doesn't make any sense how accurate it is, guys. It just doesn't make any sense. It's mind-boggling how incredible their accuracy is. So, and I've just seen it so many, like over a dozen times, just right past, just missed my head, again, what the hell? So I'm trying to figure that one out. It's a mystery. It's definitively a mystery. It doesn't make any sense. So what do I got here? Obstruction. Did you see the Bigfoot Tony video? Nope, I don't watch Bigfoot Tony's stuff. Could you grab some hair when you're carrying? Oh, yeah. Couldn't you grab some hair when he was carrying? Yeah, I could have grabbed hair, sure. Do you think I was thinking about that? Do you honestly think I had any ration? Do you think I was planning like that? Everything, hindsight is 2020. Dude, I thought I was going to die. I didn't know what the hell was going on. You know, it took me, I was never orientated. I was never thinking, oh, I'm upside down on the hip of a sack. You understand, I have no idea. The theoretical things that people think, and respect for that, but really understand. Out of nowhere, I was picked up. I was like, what the hell? And then, like, to be honest, once I was dropped, I started going, oh my God, a Sasquatch just picked me up and was running with me? Oh, that's why I felt the G-forces. Oh, that's why this. You understand? Like, when it happens, you can't even see. My head's at the ground. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Like, it's like you're in some sort of dream state. It's not making sense. Who's ever talked about that? I had no idea Sasquatch picked you up like that and ran with you. It's a discovery thing, guys. I had no idea. And if it happens again, if it happens to anybody, I highly recommend you don't tear a hair off. You know why? He's got your hips. What if he goes, "Rrr," right? "Rrr, ow!" So my suggestion is, don't pull his hairs out. He might just have a reaction that, hey, I got a hair sample, but my hips are broken and I died and bleed to death. You find a body with hips all crushed and destroyed and wrecked, but he got a hair sample in his hand. So I appreciate the suggestions, but sorry, that theory doesn't add up with the practice. And I don't know when a Sasquatch is going to pick me up again. I don't know what terrain it's going to be on. I'm never going to be easygoing about it. I'm never going to be like, oh, cool, I got picked up, let's pull a hair. No. So, and actually, what's the point? I have hair. What's the point? I have hair. I've gotten hair. I'll get hair again. I had it analyzed, unknown hominid species, you know. Sure, I'll get more hair. But anyway, so that's the way it is. Joseph Todd has seen the caber tossing Sasquatch video and likes it. I do. I don't even know what that is, caber. I probably saw it because Amanda had me watch it. Dana says, good evening, Todd. Does the Sasquatch have eyelashes? Oh. I don't know. Huh. Don't have any photographs. I can't really see. Like, I'm looking at my favorite Jake photograph, and it's dark on top. Huh. And I didn't see any. Did you see any eyelashes with video 8? Kubota? I'm so glad he's Kubota now. I really didn't like calling him the Devil Sasquatch. The reason I called Kubota the Devil Sasquatch, and immediately I didn't like it when I started talking about it publicly like that, is because there's all these areas that, like in Montana that I was in, the Devil's Gulch, the Devil's Footstools, Devil's Mountain, it was Sasquatch. So when I saw Kubota, he looked devilish to me. He's black and scary. So I could see how people back 100, 150 years ago that didn't know anything about, you understand, back in the day, like Rene de Hindenburg, I remember him talking about Sasquatch. He thought that was so cool that there could be a Sasquatch out there. People didn't know, 100 years ago, back in the 20s, when did Bigfoot become, Bigfoot got named, what was that, in the Humboldt Times? What was that, back in the 60s or late 50s? I don't have the exact date, but you got to understand, like, people weren't talking about this in 1920 and before, So, um, yeah. Anyways, I just don't see. Anyways, that was, how did I get into all that? But no, I don't see eyelashes. But have a look. Dana, if you got my movie, I mean, I put that out. That's 1080p. That's how I filmed it, was 1080p, and there was very little rendering in that. So you should be able to pause and look. Have a good look. It's a good question. I just don't recall ever seeing eyelashes below or above. I have eyelashes like crazy. My eyelashes are so long that I have to, when I put glasses on, I have to have glasses that bow out a little bit because I have crazy long eyelashes, and it bothers me when I blink and my eyelashes rub against the my glasses. Even that's kind of, well, nobody thinks I'm in video 8. Nobody has ever accused me of being in the Kubota video ever. Come on, there's nobody ridiculous enough to say that was me. But I get I get accused of being in Jake's head. People will morph my head into it, and it's so funny, guys, because Jake's head is like that big. You're morphing my head into it is ridiculous. But I was gonna say maybe my eyelashes prove I wasn't, but I mean, my God, there's the accusation that I'm in, that's even a mask. It's absolutely preposterously ridiculous. There's the proportions are right off, and I'm really grateful to this new kid, Crypto Seeker. He's doing all these reviews and stuff, and just authentically doing reviews and being hard about it. And I love what he's doing. I mean, just I find that even this bothered me back in the day when I was CNN and BBC, NBC, CBC, all these huge networks have these video experts, expert video people that analyze my footage, and I know they knew more than they were saying. The problem is when they analyzed it, it just seemed so authentic and so real. And in their heads, this is fake. The Patterson footage is fake. Bigfoot is fake. Anything Bigfoot is fake. So when they see stuff that adds to the legitimacy of it, they just don't talk about it. Because at the end of the day, they think I'm going to trick them. I went to a university and gave them Sasquatch DNA, and they gave me my money back and told me to leave the area because it was hominid DNA, and they knew I was going to go public with it. They knew I was going to tell the world. They just assume not that I had real Sasquatch DNA. They just assume I'm some geneticist genius that tricked them, and they didn't want to be fooled by it. They really, like, I'm telling you, the university that did a full genome on a Sasquatch DNA of mine saw it was unknown hominid species, and even better, it can't be. What I didn't know back then is it's not between human being and chimpanzee. It's over here where there is no. People would argue, well, I'm mixing chimpanzee and human DNA, so it would be in between human and chimpanzee. It's not. It's over here. So how am I mixing? If this is human and the Sasquatch are over here, how am I mixing human DNA with an unknown primate? Why even do that? It doesn't make any sense. You've got an unknown primate, just give them unknown primate DNA. But they couldn't get it through their heads, and they were not going to be the university that recognized it. If they literally come forward and say, yeah, this is an unknown species of hominid, they're real. That's what they're saying. They refuse to do that. They don't, and they would literally, they don't want to be involved with Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, and Bigfoot. Well, Bigfoot's real, dumbasses. So, and the fact that the BBC, CNN, and this university and all the other people, they saw more authenticity to it. They just refused to speak up about the truth because their paradigm was so strong. They're certain that Sasquatch can exist, and they're wrong. Sasquatch does exist. And that's something that I'm learning. It's so important. You can't have justice when people don't tell the truth. If you sit there and you see a truth going on and you don't say anything, you're damaging truth, you're damaging justice, and damage to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And no matter what it is, this is some big stuff that's just horrifically important in my life. You gotta speak the truth All that is necessary for evil to conquer is for good people to stand around and do nothing. Einstein said that after Nazi Germany took over. The German people could have stopped it, but they were standing around doing nothing. Oh, somebody else will stop it. Oh, somebody else will stand up. Nobody did. And then Nazi Germany did what they did. You know, there's a lot of good German people that didn't want that crap happening, but you didn't stand up against the evil. Even Einstein, he left Germany. He didn't stay there and fight for goodness and good people. No, he left. He deserted them. So evil will conquer, and that's why we just have to be honest and tell the truth no matter what, guys, no matter what. And I don't see that. People are so damn conservative, and it's been damaging to this discovery process. Just tell the truth. I could see when I was talking to that guy from BBC, he was like, man, he wanted to tell me something, but he was biting his tongue. I don't know, couldn't bite his tongue. He's like, oh man, there's something authentic about that video. There's things that he saw in that video that he knew that was, it was a real Sasquatch video. And, I didn't recognize the look until later years. Where I'm like, oh, that's what that look was. That's why the people kept doing that to me. And honestly, through the analysis and all the people, you got it. Like, it was Global TV, CTV News, it was literally dozens of networks that had that raw footage, video 2 and 3, and even today, video 4 or 5, all of it. They can all have it. Here's my raw footage. Have a look, please. Please have a look. Please take the time. But they just won't really get into the truth of it. And that's why this cryptid seeker kid, and even you, Amanda, you just analyzed. Amanda found out that something that even the cryptid kid didn't see yet is that Sasquatch in video 3, that almost 10-foot tall Sasquatch fell. He slipped and fell. Amanda found that. And Amanda, who is this awesome lady, lives in the UK, has her computers, does her work. Amanda, you found something out that the greatest video experts in media today, CNN, BBC, and all the names I went through, they couldn't figure out what Amanda figured out. None of them saw that. So you're a better video expert, Amanda. Congratulations, than the biggest video networks in the world. Or maybe another truth is they saw it, they just didn't have the balls, the intestinal fortitude to tell the truth like Amanda does. And you know what? I'll tell you something, guys. If Amanda saw something fraudulent, if Cryptid Seekers saw something fraudulent with my stuff, they'd be all over it. So same thing with Jeff Meldrum, same thing with Survivor Man, same thing with John Benedigo when he was around. If they ever saw any one reason to suspect that I was not absolutely authentic, they would disassociate with me, and all the power to them. And that has literally never happened to me. Nobody has ever disassociated with me because of a lack of authenticity with my research, with my footage, with my evidence. Nobody ever. In the history of working, people make other stupid excuses. One guy said I was working with Obama, President Obama, right? That I was there have been really ridiculous, crazy things. Liars that make up preposterous stories that don't make any sense, just stupid. Like I was talking about the guy saying that I go to the local watering hole and I'm drinking with my buddies. I don't know anybody. What the hell is he talking about? I don't even drink. What was I drinking, dumbass? So this meathead that was involved with me in Nordegg phoned Survivor Man and said, oh yeah, I saw Todd putting his costume in his car. He was putting it in the trunk of his car. And Les, being the brilliant, Les Stroud is a brilliant man. He's brilliant. He goes, what kind of car was it? And the guy's like, because you know what? Les called me and says, hey Todd, what kind of vehicles do you have? And I go, well, I have that Jeep that you saw. I have that Durango and the pickup truck. He says, you don't have a car? No. He goes, have you ever had a car? I go, no. I don't know, 10 years ago. I had a Nissan with a hatchback. He goes, so have you had a car in the last 10 years that had a trunk that opened up? I went, no. And even think about it. Why would I have a damn car with a trunk and I'd go backcountry in the bush? Stupid. When I have 4x4, my Durango's a beast. It's 4x4 jacked up with fierce aggression mud tires. But I put it in my car that I don't have. Right? And that's, thanks, stupid. That's the only good thing about most of these idiot haters is they're stupid too. They're dumb. You can't even, figure out what kind of vehicle I have and say, oh, I saw him open up the trunk of his Durango and putting the Sasquatch costume in there. No, Meathead says it was in my car. Well, thanks for being stupid. Can't fix stupid. But And then Les immediately disassociated with this meathead. And surprise, surprise, a couple weeks later, Les has a restraining order against the moron. So, these people, you get narcissists and sociopaths are out there. I deal with thousands of people, right? To do with expeditions and, a lot of people most people I don't take on expeditions. It's a long process to get on that with me. But, and of course I'm going to have the odd narcissist. For God's sake, I have almost 80,000 followers on my YouTube channel. There's going to be some narcissists and sociopaths in there. I'm not going to weed anybody out. So Les Stroud would be, you know what, Todd? There are people that are online and have opinions that should be medicated. What are you going to do, right? So if you haven't met people that are sociopathic narcissists, I see a lot of them. I deal with them a lot, and boy, they put on a good show, and it's very frustrating. But I have every intention I have this really good circle. I have so many expeditioners and awesome people that I've worked with. That's why I really don't even think I'm doing expeditions next year, guys. I have so many expeditioners coming back and so many PhDs coming out. I don't think I'll have room. I'm just going to keep going with with the existing people, especially this year. Man, I got 4 new people that are just so amazing. One guy that lives in BC here with me. It's rare that I find somebody that lives in the same province as me. And I got one guy in BC that's just become a friend, and he's just a really cool guy. It's James from Kamloops. I don't think he minds me talking about him. But, I expect James is going to come back every year. And then, I have 10 people that come back every year. I'm only taking out about, 8 expeditions times 2, 16, maybe 20 people. And I have 18 that are coming back next year. I mean, that's pretty much, and then there's just other stuff going on. Maybe more money with the films, maybe a TV show. If I get a TV show deal, expeditions are done forever. So I'll be basically working with a TV show, and just now the expeditioners that I've built these wonderful relationships with, they can maybe be in the TV show, and maybe come out and do cameos, because these guys, my expeditioners, are trained. They're impressive people. They're trained. Like, they come out, they study. I have some the Special Forces ranger. Dude's taking pictures of everything, every track, every food source, every plant, every berry. Click, 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 and he's studying it. He's looking at it at night. And he's studying it, and then, man, he was so good, right? He was doing it on his iPhone and making notes on everything and just studying it and working it, and even if you pick up 2 things a day with me times 7 days, 14 things. Easily, people pick up like 14 powerful pieces of survival knowledge, and at the very least. So they're amazing. So Sasquatch hunting weather in Texas is great. That's good. Yeah, I'm Texas Sasquatch. Yeah, they were there for sure. So Texas Rangers knew about Sasquatch. So what kind of injuries would one record being handled by a Sasquatch? It's amazing you didn't get killed. Did you take pics of your bruising? No, I didn't have. He didn't bruise me. Yeah, what I felt like the biggest injury I felt was just like the G-forces from my neck being contorted, and even the bouncing, like those G-forces where I was like flexing hard to keep my body tight. So that'd be the worst thing, I think, is like whiplash. And when he would maneuver through trees, it was just like, no wonder they just move like incredible people. A guy was telling me about his Tennessee experience. He says, I just moved like a ninja, and I agree. It's just stunning how incredibly fluid they move. They're born and raised there. They've evolved that way through nature. They are incredible. So, yeah, I never thought about it. I have no injuries on my hips at all. Well, when I came back from that expedition, I was messed up. I wouldn't have even noticed if I had bruises on my hips. So I had bruises everywhere. My knee was badly injured. Oh, I was limping really badly. I took a big jump and kind of twisted my knee. So my knee was hurt. And the bruises, man, you get bruises, cuts. I mean, when search and rescue saw me, I had like rips all over my face, and my forehead were all I didn't even know where they came from. Maybe it was when the Sasquatch was carrying me. I don't even know. So often on those crazy backcountry expeditions, I just get beaten up, bruised, it's bush, backcountry, you slip, you fall. Um, it's just the way it is. I'm going to try to put up a hiking video of me hiking down a mountain really steep where there's snow on the ground and I'm slipping, and then you'll get a sense of, oh my God, like if I slip, I die. You're up on a mountain. Nobody's ever going to find my body if I fall off this mountain. And it's, more than 45 degrees, sometimes like 60 degrees, and it's snowy, slippery. You don't know what's under the snow. You step on a log and you slip. If you go, like there have been days I came back and my nails were all busted and the ends of my fingers were all bloodied because I grabbed, like I'm sliding down the mountain until you grab hold of that mountain because you're going to die. And you rip your fingers into the snow and you grab the rocks underneath. It's panic. It's terrifying. Like you're going to die the most horrible, nasty way. You're sliding, and if you keep sliding, you are a dead man. Dead. Horribly dead. So, and then that goes on. Now you just stopped yourself, and you got to keep moving. I always try to get a tree in front of me or around me. I go from tree to tree, but there was some spacing because avalanches happen there. So trees get bashed out of the way. So that's one thing I remember the most was when I came back and my nails were I was surprised they healed. All the tips of my fingers were all badly bruised and the nails were all busted off, and I didn't even know. I didn't even care. When you're in that situation, that's the point too, is I wouldn't have noticed the bruising on my hips because your adrenaline is through the roof, right? You're in fight or flight mode, and it's right through the roof. And I am a fit, strong guy. When I grab that, I will freaking, everything I have into it. So it's really, really, it's crazy, that kind of adrenaline rush. Big name, Dagarberto Roots. Made it sweet, Todd. What do you think about morphic resonance? I don't even know what that means. Morphic, sort of morph resonance. I think I probably know what you might be going into, like, actually, I don't know. If you're talking about interdimensional traveling and crap like that, not for a second. It's bad science. It's flawed science. But, yeah, so if that's what you're talking about, I say no. I don't really know what morphic, to morph. So, like to change, like a butterfly morphs. A caterpillar morphs into a butterfly, and then resonance, to resonate. It sounds kind of cool. So, Todd, you'll be making history soon. Yeah, well, I hope somebody does, Oscar. And those up close videos of Sasquatch, you got, I believe, 100%. I've been talking a lot because I really don't care who makes this discovery. I just want it to be done ethically with good morals, not having had killed one. And I'd like somebody to find a deceased body that's naturally deceased. That would make me super happy. So I was talking to a guy about this, and he's saying no. But when I pray that somebody makes this discovery, somebody finds a body, somebody gets a piece of footage. It's just totally legit and amazing and changes the perspective of the world. Somebody can get that. But if they do get, what he's saying is they do get that though, Todd, and I am telling the truth, then it does, let's say somebody gets this incredible sick video, or somebody finds a body of a Sasquatch, even better, brings back a body. It's all going to make people see that I was telling the truth. They're going to see all the stuff that we've been saying, all of us researchers, we've always been right. They're going to look at the mid-tarsal joint on the foot, the dermal ridges are vertical, not horizontal. They're going to see the hips have that rolling ball joint. They're going to see the faces are like, they have noses like that. Some people have that, there's that old, it's Adrian Erickson did it actually, where he has that gorilla face and that gorilla chimpanzee nose where it's indented. I don't have any pictures of it here, but that's not the nose. It's not. I've never seen that. I've never heard anybody authentically that had a definitive Sasquatch sighting that saw the gorilla indented nose. The noses are outward like Jake and Jane and Kubota. They're all like that. So it will. So he's right. Do I care? No, I just want the discovery done. Am I going to go, I was telling the truth? I know I was telling the truth. Most of you people on here know that Bigfoot is real. And, that's it. So, but will the vindication, actually, it's not about the vindication. What it can do, though, is unless some researcher that's really got real boots on the ground experience and notes and data, even if that happens, though, I can still help. I can still add to it. Let's say there's some guy out there, and there are guys out there that are amazing, incredible. I don't want to say better researchers, but they're doing extremely well. They're having, because it's not a competition to who's the best. It's just they're doing great work. They find a body, they make the discovery. I can still help with other things that I know. I think I could still help. I think there's always some help I can add to it. So I would like to be part of the initial discovery process. I want to, because I can help facilitate the discovery moving forward morally. I can go, okay, so you go into this area, okay, there's tree breaks, these are what the tree breaks mean, there's a structure, that's what that means, these are the tracks, this is a male, I could really help this stuff move forward. And is the guy or girl, is the person who makes this discovery, are they going to be great trackers? Are they going to be great wilderness guys? Are they going to know about the elk? Maybe they'll do it in Texas where they don't have elk. And I'll tell you, the behaviors of Sasquatch in Texas, as opposed to up here in the Pacific Northwest, through Montana, Idaho, Washington, and all the way up into Canada and Alaska, those Sasquatch are very different from Texas Sasquatch. As soon as you get into California, I'm seeing like Northern California, up in Oregon, that's all Pacific Northwest. That's really familiar habitat to me. Then once you get to that southern desert in California and then go across and down south, you get possums and armadillos and different just weird things, bugs and snakes that we don't deal with, up here. So bugs make different sounds, snake makes different sounds, armadillos and possums all make different sounds. I don't know what, the birds are different down there. So my point is, when you come north, if it's made in the south, you're gonna need my help, because Sasquatch are surviving. They could eat alligators and armadillos and possums and weird things like crazy down south. There's nothing like that up north. Nothing. Though, they have to eat the elk. They can't, I don't think they could survive on a diet of rabbits and squirrels. There wouldn't be enough calories. Our squirrels, if you're from anywhere south where it's warmer, like into Washington, even in British Columbia, the squirrels are twice the size, guys. Do you know how much that matters? So I could actually live off of squirrels in southern British Columbia. In northern British Columbia, the squirrels are literally 1/3 the size. Couldn't live off that. I've tried to eat those little buggers. They're so tiny. They're just little itty bitty things. So that makes such a big difference, guys. Like, it just creates this whole different dichotomy for survival, and the ecology is totally different. So I think there's a really good chance that when this discovery moves forward, when people start getting positive, when people start going, oh, okay, Bigfoot's real, here's the proof of it, let's move forward. When biologists, that's all I wanted to do, was show this stuff to Fish and Wildlife. That's all I ever wanted to do. That's why I went to court. That's what I was fighting for, was to make this discovery, just increase the authenticity of it. So let's do some more questions here. It's been over an hour, so let's do a couple more questions. Direwolf, sorry. Todd, have you ever compared the eye distance from your portraits to that of Gigantopithecus? Well, the Gigantopithecus, no, you can't do that, because the Gigantopithecus skull, it's all contrived except the lower jawbone. They don't know the eyes precisely, so you can't do that. That skull is completely contrived. Only the lower jawbone is authentic. They built off of that. So it's really important that you know that. So I don't have the ability to do that whatsoever. Jojo, watching from the UK, love your channel, and what are you doing up so late? Go to bed. Amanda, you should be in bed. You're awesome, though. I've learned so much from that's awesome that you've learned so much. Thank you. Raggedy Man, careful, Todd. I know you want them all to be kind of benevolent, but let's be real. So there's that. Okay. Yeah. There's going to be, Sasquatch are different. Every individual is going to be different. That's a fact. I think Kubota's a son of a bitch. Sorry, am I allowed to say that? Sorry, Amanda. But yeah, I think Kubota's just, he's nasty. He's mean. So he's, he latched on to that woman. That doesn't even really surprise me. Who else has he ever latched on to? Was that the first time he ever did that? Let's even think about this. So let's say that was the first time Kubota ever did that. What do you think he learned? Don't do it when the troop is around. So Kubota's going to go off on his own one day when no one's around, and then he's going to latch on to a woman. Maybe that's happened. And then he's going to do whatever he wants to do with her. You think he's not smart? You think he didn't learn something that day? Absolutely he did. He wanted that woman. He wanted Ina. So I think, honestly, the odds of him having done that again are high, very high. And where is this person that he did that to? Or was it not the first time he did that? I think it was. Just based on the way he had to drop it and it didn't work. I mean, Sasquatch are so smart. They're highly intelligent beings. So, you know, that's a scary thought, huh? That was maybe his first, because that's what a serial killer will do. The first time it's harder, it's more difficult. They get more comfortable as they do it over and over again. You know, so yeah. Brent Allen, have you seen the Timber Giant video yet? I don't know. In the one he films Bigfoot crawling into a thick bush. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I have. I don't remember. We would love to hear you about your encounters. We would love to hear about your encounters. Please visit the website to submit your report, discoveringbigfoot.org. You can submit your report there. Are we still doing bigfootencounter@gmail.com? The website's a good place to go. And yeah, we do love hearing about your encounters and stuff. So Catherine says, oh man, that answered my question. A male picked up a human female. Holy, yeah, isn't that crazy? Ugh, crazy. Especially because I was picked up for very positive reasons. It's a long story. We're not going to get into that today. But they were trying to help me do something. They were helping me. Why was Ina picked up? I don't think he was trying. That's Kubota, man. He's a mean dude. I think he likes girls. I think some bad stuff was probably going to happen. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but you can just imagine, you know, boys like girls. He picked her up. He wasn't interested in the boyfriend. Boy, he smashed that dude out of the way. And yeah, so probably would have been some bad stuff happening. You know what I'm seeing? I don't want to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. Is Sasquatches do not have large penises. They have, it's not like their body size, you know, they're 900 pounds. That means their penis would be enormous. It's not. I've seen it. I filmed it one time with that Jake video that the camera got smashed in the water when the bear attacked me. Long stories, right? I don't like getting into it all, but that's the day I had a really good look at it, and it wasn't just cold. That day, I saw Jake, and Jake was like small. So even though his body was enormous, his hips were enormous, like it looked really, really tiny. It was a very tiny penis. And that's something I've learned with even primatologists, you know, up when they do research with gorillas, guys don't show their appendages, because if they do and the gorilla sees it, gorillas have also small penises, comparatively speaking to ours. And the gorilla will get mad and beat you up because your penis is bigger than his. These are facts. These are primatology facts. So let's just do one more question here. Let me have a look. I'm frozen up. I grew up in Edmonton. Hey, Vito. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Edmonton too. Oh my goodness, there's 1,000 questions here. You guys are awesome. Billy Bob, you sir are an amazing man. I truly believe your research is correct and just. Thank you very much, Billy Bob. I've always believed in their existence. Godspeed. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that support, guys. Amanda says, I don't need proof that they're real. I just need to learn more about them. That's awesome. You know, and yeah. So you're doing great, Amanda. Andy says, eDNA is meant to match with known DNA sequences, and Sasquatch is still not scientifically accepted and comes back as part of unknown primates. Isn't that crazy? And that's not acceptable anymore. They've identified primate species entirely on DNA. It's called the Skywalker Gibbon. It's part of the precedents that I try to set. So where can I watch the movie? Just Discovering Bigfoot. Look it up. It's on Amazon Prime right now. It's not on Netflix anymore. It did its 2-year contract on Netflix. And you might even be able to find it on YouTube. And Warner Brothers distributed it, so it's out there like crazy. They put it everywhere. So Sandblasser react to another human says react to another human species exists. Okay. Beto says, I bet they bury their dead is sacred. Yeah, I have. I think I agree with you on that. They probably have burial areas. I have some very superficial evidence from other people corroborating that. So that's a theory. Maybe even put them in caves. So never been, Alberta boy. Somebody said, Vito says, Joseph, looking for a question. Polygon X3, Bigfoot equals underground military bases equals Vion ETS. I don't even know what that means. History. Okay, very cool. Yes, David, would you team up with Bobo from the Bigfoot show? No. Bobo can't hike. Bobo can't go backcountry. Bobo usually likes to wear sandals. His feet were all busted up. from fishing. And recently Bobo has been very irresponsibly critical of my work. So when Finding Bigfoot came out, I told them all, I'll take any of you guys out really sure. This show is not going to work. We're not going to see a Bigfoot here today because there's like crew and sound guys. Nothing's going to happen here. So they couldn't even go to the spot I'd chosen because it was like a 2-kilometer hike, and they can't hike 2 kilometers. That's Finding Bigfoot. They couldn't hike. That's like it's about 1.5 miles. They couldn't do that. That's how that show is. It's like, I thought it was an easy hike. They couldn't do it. So they picked a spot right off the road. They were filming right by the road, and there were farms around. I mean, at night they were hearing cattle. And they were, oh, there's Bigfoot, and they just slowed the sound down. So they would turn moo into ooh. They just turned up the pitch. That's how fake that show is. But and I don't think Survivor Man has been very critical of people from that show. People from that show was trying to work with Survivor Man. He's like, but you did a fake show. And they're like, well, we didn't do it. It was my fault. No, you did a fake show. You damaged credibility. Your show was fraudulent. It's fraudulent. It's fake. It's contrived. It's that reality TV is fake. When I do a show, when Survivor Man does a show, it's documentary TV shows, a documentary feature film. The documentary Discovering Bigfoot is a documentary. It's documentation of what actually happened. Nothing was contrived. So, yeah. That'll be our show for today, guys. There's a ton of questions today. Man, we are just hopping. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Oh my goodness, look at the questions. I'm not even halfway down. Sorry I didn't get to all these awesome questions, you guys. Look at all this. Philip Smith, has the Sasquatch you've heard sound familiar to any other of the sounds in the Sierra sounds? No. Oh no, I have. I've heard sounds that were a lot like the Sierra sounds. So those Sierra sounds, I feel, are very authentic because I've heard sounds like that before. But just the problem is their range. That's not like you just don't say, oh, that's a Sasquatch sound. No, their range is just like crazy. They can make all kinds of sounds. So right now I changed my Bigfoot call differently. I make a different sound when I call out for Bigfoot now. My expeditioners know it. I'm keeping it private. It's not a Sasquatch whoop or anything. I just I have a call that I do that feels very authentically me. It's like it sounds exciting. It sounds woo. There's my sound right there. I make that really loud. And I've never heard a Bigfoot do that back yet. And I've been doing that sound for 3 years now, and never one time have they made that call back to me yet. So I expect they will one day. They do different sounds, and that's awesome. So there will be, the chat room is open after my stream here for all those of you who want to continue chatting. And there's so many people on here, guys. You should get over that. Sorry, I've got 50 things to do today, emails to send out and people to talk to tonight that I promised I would speak with. But there's the link for it right there. If you look at Sci Guy, that's my bro Phil. Thank you very much, Phil, for your support and your help. Phil, you are awesome. Phil is like, I'm going to go visit Phil, and our families are going to meet, and I kind of want to do that with Amanda too, but I need to grow and expand dramatically. Amanda is so far away in the UK, but I really want to, I feel like Phil and Amanda specifically, people that help me out like that, I mean, I feel like you guys are just like family, and you guys see how it's a family thing, right? Like a family helped me now. And it's always been like that with me. So I just really appreciate your support, guys. And I'm excited to keep growing and expanding these things. If you go to it's discoveringbigfoot.net/live chat. It's in the stream here. Have a good look for it. You'll see Phil is called the Sci Guy, and he's got the Harry and the Hendersons emblem. Phil is a mediator here on the channel. So yeah, you click on that link, go to the live chat room. Please go to the live chat room, chat it up, guys, talk about stuff. There's so many people on here right now. I didn't even get, what am I, halfway down? And it's still propagating. So that's all. I think this is one of the busiest live shows I've ever seen. It is awesome. All you guys tuned in. That is fantastic. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And I'm gonna try to get a little cool. I think it was kind of cool to do the show with a little example. So I'm going to try to have that for every live show where I'll talk about that. I didn't get to do my live Facebook stuff because I was doing a podcast right before the show. So Todd knows they ain't all cuddly. You bet, man. Cuddling with the Sasquatch still terrify me. I mean, it's exhilarating. It's fun. It's like skydiving or rock climbing. Like I love that. I do that stuff, and it's exhilarating, and I come away with a smile, like it's smiling, but yeah, it's terrifying too because they're so powerful and anything can happen. You really gotta think, guys, that you're just dominated. You go into a situation like if there's a bear, I can manage a bear. Trust me. I have my things. If a bear wants to fight me, I have my gun. He's gonna lose. He's gonna die. I tell him, I give him energy. Go away. I'm a dangerous predator. Don't mess with me. A mountain lion comes around me. Even if a mountain lion jumped on me from behind and got up on me, I'm still gonna blow that thing to kingdom come. So I tell my expeditioners, if that ever happens, we practice it. Get in the position, get curled up, and get ready because the thunder's coming. Anything jumps on you, and it's going to be blown into oblivion. So, but with a Sasquatch, it is not that way. When a Sasquatch is around, I would literally take my gun and throw it in the bush. I'm not going to draw that gun. If I start fighting a Sasquatch, and to fight is with a gun. To pull my gun and shoot. That's how I fight. I'm a human. I'm not fighting a bear with a knife. I'm fighting, and I'm going to win that fight. They're going to lose badly, very, very badly. A Sasquatch is going to beat me very, very badly. I will never win that battle. With a gun, with a rifle, with people, I'm going to lose that fight every single time. So I immediately submit, and that's why it's so terrifying, is they are the boss. They're the top dog. They're the apex. So far ahead of me. I am a 5-year-old kid going into the UFC against the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm going to lose that fight every time. Odds are 100% I'm going to lose that fight. And the expeditioners know it, because when a Sasquatch comes around, I will literally, no guns, no weapons, no bear bangers, no bear spray. They're going to do what they're going to do, and if they're going to be bad to us and horrible to us, and if they're bad Sasquatch and they're going to hurt us, suck it up, buttercup. That's the only way I can do things, and I don't make any apologies for it. So yeah, that's our show for today. So thanks so much. Thursday is coming for sure. I'm going to do part 2 of the mini doc with my commentary before and after. And then the week after that, it'll be part 3 of the mini doc. I've never put the mini doc up publicly, guys. So so when I toured around to get species protection and gather signatures for species protection for Sasquatch. So it's really cool because I've really changed a lot in my thinking. I mean, that was over a decade ago. I'm a whole different person now, a whole different level of what I'm doing. So I'll be putting that up. And I did have a Sasquatch Sunday thing talking about Patterson, so I want to keep doing that. Just keep listening, guys. Pay attention. And yeah, that's all for today, guys. I see all these awesome questions. I want to keep going, but I got to get going here, guys. Thank you so much. So let's be good to each other and cooperate immensely. It's the secret of the greatest success. Just cooperate and go chat on the chat room, see what you can find. The chat room's really cool because you can really have discussions with people. And Amanda and Phil, they've listened to all my stuff. They know it backwards and forwards. If Amanda and Phil say something, it's coming from my mouth. Literally, these guys are just, they know my stuff so well. They're here all the time. They hear me talking all the time. They they can just regurgitate what I've been telling them, and they're very intelligent, awesome people. And if you get to Amanda and Phil can go like this. Phil can go, hey Todd, met this guy. So I'm telling you, when you're talking to Phil and Amanda, if you're trying to get to me, if you impress Phil and Amanda, I'll get a phone call. Oh, hi Amanda. Hey, what's up? That's how these people are. These people are intertwined with me. I wouldn't be here doing this show if it wasn't for Phil and Amanda. I wouldn't even do it. I would have quit a long time ago. So, and they've made this show better. They give me heck, and they straighten me out, and they really have, they're immensely part of my success, immensely. So go talk on that chat room, go impress them. If you got stuff and you really need to talk to me, this is your chance. Go hit that live chat room, go chat with them, tell them what your stuff is, send us those emails, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Y'all take care.